Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of Your Age is Not Your Cage with Carla Allen. And guess what? Today is such a special day because last year I started my podcast on June 5th, 1 year ago today. So I wish I had bells and whistles and all sorts of things to go off, but just know that today is so special to me. I cannot believe it's been 1 year. So today I'm just going to talk a little bit about a recap of the year, not of my whole life, of the podcast and some of the guests I had on, and share maybe a few special moments and some excerpts and some just topics that were so important to me and what the year has meant to me. So without further ado, let's just dig right in and get started and talk about what has gone on this podcast in the last year. So I hope you'll hang with me and celebrate with me. And don't forget, the most important thing that really helps me out is when you all share this with family and friends. When you go into, say, Apple or Spotify and just do a quick rating, write a simple, quick review, and it helps me out so much. And go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. Even if you don't watch it all the time, it would be amazing if you are a subscriber. So I just ask that of you, and I thank you for all my dedicated, devoted listeners. You have been such a beautiful and blessed gift to me. I can't even begin to tell you. So I just wanted to talk a little bit, from where we started. Last year when I started this podcast, I had a few things going on, but I was so tired of procrastinating, of waiting until my podcast was quote unquote perfect. There is no perfect. And I just kept waiting until I had all the right things, the right guests, the right microphone, the right setup, the right background, whatever. I kept putting it off. And I finally, after much prodding and encouragement from my family, my son, who does all my editing, shout out to the most amazing editor ever, my son Jake Allen. He edits these for me, and I am so grateful for him. But after being encouraged to just do this, just get started, I said, okay, you know what? I am going to release my first episode on June 5th. Well, I had something else going on that week that was a little bit important too. I was donating a kidney that very same week to my lifelong bestie, Tammy. And so, yeah, I had a few things going on. I remember driving with my husband to Houston where the donation took place while I was releasing my first podcast, and I was promoting it and doing things. So what a crazy time, and what a crazy thing for me to do that then. But I knew God was leading the way. I knew He was opening up the door and just saying, I have called you to this. Just go and do it. Share what I put on your heart. Talk to the people that I open doors for you to talk to. Share things that will help women out there. It's not about me. These podcasts are not about me. And every time before I do a podcast, I pray and I ask God to give me the words to take me out of the way. And if I'm interviewing someone, I do the same thing. And I ask that whatever people out there need to hear would be heard that day from myself and my guest. And they always go beautifully. I'm not one to go back and listen to myself or watch. Well, here's actually what I do. I take those podcasts, I immediately download, send them to my son, and then he takes care of pulling them together. We don't do a ton of editing because I'm just not all about that. But so, and let me say to that, there's not always going to be perfect sound or perfect background or the most amazing camera angles. I'm just not there. It's just not what I'm focused on. I am focused on getting messages out to my listeners that you care about. I'm interested in helping share information that is going to encourage you along in life, that's going to push you forward to being a more incredible person, to thriving and enjoying your life, to being empowered and equipped to get to your very best health and to be your very own best health advocate. Those are the things I'm concerned about. When one day, maybe I'll have fancy equipment. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just stick with what I've got, which is recording on Zoom. I have a good microphone. It's decent. It's not the best. And I have the equipment that I need. And that is all I care about, because I care about you, my listeners, and what you want to hear. And so, with that said, yes, I started this last year. I'm sure if I went back and listened to my first ones, I would probably cringe a little bit, but I always remind myself, Carla, it's not about you. It's about the message you got out there. So don't listen if there's noises or dings. My computer was always dinging when I was recording because I couldn't figure out how to fix that. So, it is what it is, and that's what I love. This is about being real and authentic, full authenticity. And that's what I rather be about than filters and perfection. That is truly where my heart is at. And so I did. When I release a podcast, that is when I listen to it. When it is already published, that's when I go in and I listen. What I say is kind of funny because a lot of times I'll listen while I'm at the gym the day it releases. And I say, while I'm working on myself, I'm listening to myself. So it's funny. And there's times I've finished and I've said, wow, that was really a good podcast. And then there's times I've been like, oh, that I didn't share this or that. So, I always do my best to bring what I hope everybody wants and needs. And let me add with that, anytime someone thinks they would be an amazing guest for my show, or an incredible person that would bring so much value to this podcast, please reach out. I always have all my info to contact me in the show notes, and I would love to hear from you. So just with quickly on some of these podcasts, I started out the podcast, which is very much the way I should have, and it was with my sweet friend Tammy, the one that I donated a kidney to. And we did the very first podcast was on our story and kind of how we got to where we were at that time. And that was about to be when we were donating my kidney. So that is my very first podcast. I have done several podcasts on breast implants and explants and Botox and fillers. I've done a lot on things that we put in and on our body. And it's not from any kind of judgment or saying you're right or wrong. It's putting information out there. It's helping you to make informed decisions by educating yourself, by learning, by digging deeper and researching if it's right for you. And also, if you've had, symptoms are not a sign of an illness. You can have silent symptoms, and I have so many people that tell me, but I have no symptoms. I don't think I have any issues. Sometimes they're silent. Just know your body, listen to your body, and be your own best health advocate. That's the best thing I can recommend in getting your labs and doing things to get tests to the cellular level so that you know what's going on within your body. So I've had amazing guests on. I've had friends on. I've had my friend Dee Dee. I've had my friend Laura on talking about. Laura had breast cancer and she also had implants removed. But Laura walked us through her journey of breast cancer and also turning to integrative health and all the things that she's doing that has turned her health around and helped her remain cancer-free. I've known Laura many, many, many years and adore her and love her story. It was amazing. She was on episode 5, Beyond Breast Cancer. And then I've had people on, not people, I've had a couple other ladies on to talk about implants and explants. And um, Robin Tout and Amanda Porta, the holistic beauty coach, have been on to talk about breast implant illness and everything to do with that. And Robin is such an advocate for women's health and advocating for breast implant safety. And she's not telling people not to get them. She just wants to put things into place where it is spelled out and written consent for women so they know exactly what they're signed up for. And so the podcast with them is absolutely amazing. And I have had, if I remember correctly, excuse me, I had two podcasts, part one and part two with them, which was episode 20 and 21. And we really dig deep into all that, including fillers and Botox also. And again, none of it is judgment. It's all to help you make good, informed decisions. And then I've had podcasts on with an amazing mom. She is the daughter-in-law of a lifelong friend of mine, Shauna, her daughter-in-law, Emily Cobb, and their sons, Owen, Mighty O, as we call him, journey that he has been on all his life. And that is episode 8. And I had a lot of feedback on that episode about Owen and all that they have walked through. And I tell you, I'm not even going to share it all. You have to go listen. They are one of the most amazing families that you ever could know. And so I encourage you to go listen to their story and just the courageousness of this family, their trust and their faith. And they come together as this unit, the husband and wife, to do exactly what they have to do to make things work with everything that they have endured with sweet, mighty Owen, who is an amazing, amazing child. And let's see, I have another one. My friend Sean Osmond, one of my closest friends, she did an episode with me called The Secrets That Make You Sick. And it's exactly what you would think. Sean digs deep and talks about very sensitive topics, but things that she went through with addictions and abortions and all the things, alcoholism, things that held her prisoner for so many years. And I mean, Sean loves Jesus. She loves fighting for the underdogs. She loves to help women and to share her story. She is a chaplain at the county jail. I have done jail ministry with Sean, and she also does jail ministry at a prison here in Texas. She has devoted her life to ministry, and she is absolutely incredible. And she was on episode 7, and you will love her. And I've done some on coaching, like why I do what I do. If you don't know what I do, I am a integrative health coach, certified. I am a podcaster, obviously, here I am. And I specialize in midlife women's health coaching, mindset coaching, and I love to speak. I love to speak in front of crowds for people to motivate, encourage. And so that is one thing I hope to do more of, is some motivational speaking at different places. So I have done things just explaining what I do. And then I had another one that I ran this one twice. It was episode 10, Parenting Aging Parents, because also last year at this time, we were going through a very, very difficult time with my dad, who was extremely sick with Alzheimer's and vascular dementia. And so my dad passed away last year on September 2nd, and I released this podcast episode on episode 10 with Parenting Aging Parents with Kim and Mike Barnes, who started this incredible organization for people like me who were caregivers, like my mom, and just every resource you could imagine is within their organization. They have a private Facebook group. I encourage you so highly, if you are in this situation of a caregiver or know someone that is, go listen to this and send them to that private Facebook page. I recorded that episode. August 16th is when it released. So my dad passed away only a short couple weeks after that. So I was really in the throes of things by then with my sweet dad. And let's see. And while I'm on that, I did an episode 13 on This One's for You, Dad. And it was a little bit of my journey and just honor and tribute to my dad as he had just passed away. I did that one on September 27th, and that was episode 13. But then I have had, oh, you guys, I have had on some of the most incredible, empowering, brave, courageous, amazing. I can't even think of all the words for these beautiful, beautiful women I have had on that help me to want to just strive more. And I don't, not even strive, because that's a word that indicates that, it's kind of like grinding, and that's not what I mean. When I say these women help me to want to be a better person. They help me want to be that person that stands behind your age is not your cage, knowing age is just a number, knowing that you're never too old and it's never too late. Because these women that I have had on, I've had on my sweet 80-year-old friend, Mary Fields, who is incredible. Had her on episode 12. I had Jenny McCall, who's episode 11. She was a 71-year-old American Ninja Warrior. She was on that show. If you didn't listen to that one, go back and listen. And I had Julia Lynn. She's on Instagram as Dolphinine, 66 years old. And oh my gosh, Julia and I do have some commonalities, as she had a kidney transplant, but she also had a triple cardiac bypass. She had a thyroidectomy. She had childhood diabetes. Oh, I can't even recall what else, but she is incredible. And she went, excuse me, she went on at like 62 years old and decided to get in the best shape of her life. And she is a trainer, and she has been coaching women, and she does bikini competitions. I just can't even say any more about her. Go check out Julia's episode 14. And my friend Tama, I love Tama. Her and I have become so close, which I met her seriously through Instagram. We connected, and her mom had passed just before my dad, and we just had a lot of connections. And now Tama and I make a point. She is a flight attendant, and I see her once a month, and we sit down and we hold each other accountable to things in our life and our business, and we just enjoy time together. And she is such a treasure to me. All done because I met her through this podcast. You guys, I just can't even say, whatever it is you want to do, whatever dream you have, whatever you have wanted to go after, go do it, because I've gotten to meet some of the closest friends that I've had now, and I love it. So Tama is episode 15. Tama is 63 years old, and another just someone that will inspire you like no other. And our sweet friend Stephanie, who has Fit for 5, Stephanie is absolutely amazing in her fitness app and her coaching and her family life and her faith. And she is another one that is so near and dear to my heart. And another one, all these women, we cheer each other on. A lot of us do the same thing. A lot of us are health coaches, but we cheer each other on, just like the episode I did on cheering women on. I just did that one, and that one was recent. It's what we do. They're not my competition. They are my friends, and they are warriors for health, just like I am. And so I cheer them on, and they cheer me on. And Stephanie is that for me too. And I've done some solo episodes where I just talk about like midlife women things, answering questions. I've done listener questions, which is always so fun. I've had my sweet friend April Larson on, where we kind of talked about like biblical married sex and midlife issues, and we just kind of chatted a little bit. And Tammy and I have done a couple updates on our kidney process and everything that's gone on in the last year. And I am not going to share any more on that because we are going to have a special updated episode for our 1 year kidney anniversary, which is on June 7th. So that will be coming out the next week. I've done episodes on women and community and how to be a connector and bring women into groups and gatherings. I have created and gotten involved in so many different women's groups. It's my passion. I love to connect women and watch their friendships bloom and grow. So I've done episodes on that. So please go look at that. I've really gotten into doing things recently on homesteading. And I had one of my best, closest friends, Chelsea, on, and we talked about getting back to that way of life, the homesteading state of mind. And that was such a good episode. And I had so much amazing feedback on that. And that was episode, it was on February 28th that her and I did that one, and absolutely loved that one. I did a sweet one for Easter called A Journey Through Holy Week. Thank you. I had a lot of people reach out on that, and I remember one saying, I had never really walked through Holy Week like that, how you broke it down, and they thanked me for that. So that was a sweet one to do. And on the homesteading, I also had Liz with Homegrown Education. She also has a podcast, so go listen to her if you have not heard her podcast. But she is all about homesteading, nourishing families, getting your kids in the kitchen with you, all that kind of stuff. Absolutely loved that episode. And I wanted to also say I had Kathleen Klug. I always get her last name wrong. Kathleen, don't kill me. I absolutely love Kathleen and our conversations. And Kathleen has a book called Start With One. I highly recommend it. I actually had a friend reach out to me, and she felt so inspired by this podcast with Kathleen that she was going to go get the book. So loved that, and Kathleen's info. Her book, I read it so quickly and it's so marked up. I know you will love it too. And I've done a lot of things on like healthy habits and daily routines and consistent rhythms. And I loved like getting feedback on that and people telling me, I didn't think about doing this in the morning, or I didn't think about adding that in, or thank you for suggesting that. And those are fun for me to do because I love to hear also what you're doing. That makes it fun. Let me think. What else did I talk about? I did have my cousin on. I had Abby on, and she was talking about, again, homesteading, how their lives have changed since they've gone back to a simpler way of life with their two small boys. And I love to see these families doing this. It just makes my heart soar. And to see kids getting back outside and raising animals and collecting eggs and learning how to cook and sew and make things. It's so beautiful, especially in this world and this culture of nothing but technology and isolation and being indoors. So that was one of my favorites. And you're going to hear more on that on further episodes, because it's something I'm so passionate about, our families getting back to that way of life. And of course, I talk about perimenopause and menopause and midlife stuff and health and women's health. And those are always going to be something that's on here because it's what I'm all about. And I loved my episode 39 where I talked about actively and powerfully aging. Because just remember, you're not too old. It's not too late. And this is where I'll say, reach out to me. If you want help with that, if you need help and accountability and coaching and someone to guide you through that, reach out to me, send me an email, send me a DM on Instagram, and we can talk. We can do a free consultation call. I would love to help you. It is my passion, and it's what I am on fire for and I love to do, is help women to overcome these things and to equip and empower women to just get out there and live their lives and enjoy and thrive, even 50s, 60s, 70s. I am 59 years old, and I want to encourage you in that too. So I absolutely love it. Let's see, what else did I have on? I told you about cheering women on. It's just something I so believe in. And I was vulnerable and told my stories of I didn't used to do that. I used to compete and see women as a threat in a lot of areas. And God worked on me so deeply and redeemed me. And I can tell you, I get so much joy and excitement out of cheering women on. So I'm so thankful that He's done that for me. He's done so much in my life over the years. I can't even begin to name all of it, but I am just so thankful for my faith and for Jesus and my family, and those all come before anything else in my life. Um, and I also had sweet Kelly Cone. Gosh, I'm butchering the last names. I'm so sorry, Kelly. Kelly is also a breast cancer survivor. Kelly, oh my gosh, you have got to go follow her on Instagram. She's on episode 38, so you can go look in the show notes. But it's, if I remember correctly, Kelly underscore and then KOHN. But look at my show notes too, and it'll tell you her story's amazing. Her videos are fun. She's in the process of getting her personal trainer's license, but she is a little pistol, and I adore watching her stuff. Her content is so good, and she is just such a sweetheart. So that was a fun one. And my last one I just had on last week was celebrity chef James Berry, and he was my first solo male to be on my podcast ever. So that was a very special episode, and I was honored to have him on. He is the founder of Pluck Seasoning, which is organ-based seasoning. My favorite, absolutely my favorite. And always know, look at my show notes in any of these and go look for the code. Like for Pluck, there is a code for a discount if you go in and use that link. So, but I enjoy my conversation with James so much. He is such a wealth of knowledge in so many areas of health and wellness and your journey and navigating the kitchen and little hacks that you can do in the kitchen. And yes, he was a celebrity chef to incredible stars, namely Tom Cruise. But that's not the biggest piece about it. It is the knowledge and the passion he has to help people that made my conversation with him so incredible and so inspiring. So I encourage you to listen to that. That was my last episode. And, you know, I always say I try to remain consistent. I will always have a podcast come out every week as much as I possibly can. I try to record things ahead of time and keep things up to date. But I did have a little hiatus a little bit after the kidney surgery. And then especially when my dad passed, I knew I needed to step back for a bit. So, but I will always consistently be here on Wednesdays. I love it. I love what I do. I love putting this information out there for you. And I encourage and welcome feedback, things you want to hear, things you want me to talk about, maybe people you want me to talk to. Please email me or DM me and let me know. And if you are a woman out there that needs someone to encourage and empower and equip and help her move forward in her health and her mindset, her whole mind, body, spirit is what I'm all about. If you need that help, please reach out to me and let's do a call and let me guide you along in this process to a thriving, exciting life, energetic life. Okay. I would love to do that for you. Okay. I am going to wrap this up. I just want to thank everybody so much for being there for me through this year. It's crazy that I'm at 1 year and I'm so excited about it. I'm excited about what's to come. I'm excited what guests I'll have on, what topics I'll talk about, the things that are ahead. I just can't wait to start season 2, I'll call it, and just put out content out there that you, the listeners, are wanting to hear, needing to hear, longing to hear. That is my desire and my passion, is just to speak to you and help you in whatever ways that I can, by sharing incredible stories with people that are inspiring and empowering, and by coaching and things that I do that I hope will also help you along in your health journey. So with that said, I appreciate you more than you will ever know, and I appreciate every rating and review and DM and email, all the things that I get from you, the listeners. It fills my heart up, and I thank you for being here for me. So just remember, every Wednesday I'm released on Your Age is Not Your Cage with Carla Allen. And please share with your friends and family. And just remember, don't let your age stop you from anything. Your age is just a number, and it's never too late, and you're never too old. So go out there and don't let your age be your cage, okay? Until next time, see you next week. Bye-bye.